My name is Brian Westbrook. I'm the now Executive Director of the Coalition for Life St. Louis, which directs the 40 Days for Life campaign. So the question is abortion right for our country? Was actually a very interesting topic, and so I'd like to first start with a quote from the National Abortion Federation, Kathleen Colbert. "I urge incredible restraint here to focus your message and stick to it, because otherwise we'll be creamed. If the debate is whether the fetus feels pain, we'll lose. If the debate is in the public arena is whether the effect of anesthesia, we'll lose. If the debate is whether or not a woman ought to be entitled to a late abortion, we'll probably lose. But if the debate is about the circumstances of an individual woman, then I think we'll win." So obviously, you heard from Kate. She talked about the woman, obviously. So, is abortion right for our country? Again, to quote the same, the Declaration of Independence, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights. Among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness." So first and foremost, life. We can't have liberty or pursuit of happiness if we don't first have life. And so we'll get into that as well. So the argument, it's wrong to intentionally kill another human being. Abortion intentionally kills another human being. Thus, abortion is wrong, and it's also wrong for our country. So what is abortion? If you go to the dictionary, the termination of a pregnancy after, accompanied by or resulting in, or closely followed by the death of the embryo or fetus. Again, we have to have something that's living before it dies. So the death of the embryo or fetus. So again, what's an embryo? I looked it up too. It's a developing human individual from the time of implantation to the end of the 18th week of conception. So it's a human individual, and so we're killing a human individual, correct? And so a fetus is just kind of, it's later. An unborn or unhatched vertebrate, especially after attaining the basic structures plan of the kind, specifically a developing human from usually 2 months after conception to birth. So abortion, it kills a human being. And like she said, that's our argument. What is the unborn? And so if you go back to Planned Parenthood's research in their own material in 1963, the top abortion provider in their country, a $1 billion organization, abortion kills the life of a baby after it has begun. Now, I know this is dated 1963, but that's even before ultrasound, before the science. They already have it in their materials, in Planned Parenthood's own materials. And this comes to probably the hardest part of my program. The following material is going to be quite disturbing to you and both to me. It's for educational reasons only, not for shock value, but please look away or leave the room if you're troubled by it, and you should be. And if you suffer from a past abortion, know that our Lord Jesus forgives and heals. So during miscarriage, we know that the children come out of the uterus and out of the womb. So it's 6 weeks. This is what you look like. This was your development. You were once an embryo or fetus. Again, that's just semantic gymnastics. That's a human being. At 15 weeks, at 16 weeks, this occurred during natural miscarriages. They have fingers, they have toes, they have eyes, they have a heartbeat. They, in fact, feel pain. That was all accurate imagery from the Center of Ethical Reform. So a quote from Greg Cunningham, the Center of Bioethical Reform: when something is so horrifying that we can't stand to look at it, perhaps we shouldn't be tolerating it.
1 minute.
1 minute. So what is the unborn? So if mommy and daddy, a kid comes back behind mommy and daddy and says, "Can I kill this?" What's your first question? What is it, right? And so, what is it? We want to know that an unborn child is living because it came from a living mother and a living father. So you can only have life coming from other life. That's completely separate. The DNA is completely different. If it's a boy, the boy has a penis. Mom doesn't have a penis, does she? And it's complete. It's a complete human being from the very moment of conception. Just like an oak, an acorn is an oak seed. It turns into, it doesn't really turn into, it becomes and develops into an oak tree. Just like us, we start as a fetus or an embryo. That's just another word for a human fetus or a human embryo. And so, also there's personhood. And so, now we know this is a human being. This is a human being. But then also there's personhood. So in Roe versus Wade, they said, in short, the unborn have never been recognized in the law as being persons. And so then you look at slavery as well. In the Dred Scott. Time. Okay. In the Dred Scott case, they also dehumanized basically Negroes, and they said they, being Negroes, have never been recognized as part of people or citizens of the state. And so it's, again, dehumanizing a certain part of our society.